Lads, how are you?
There we go.
All right, man. So, another episode of the Diving Deep podcast. And this week's guests are French and Lou, some lads that I've known for a little while, also from the same town as me. So, I suppose where we'll start from, lads, is for anybody who doesn't know who you are, give us a little bit of an intro for who you are and what you're about.
So, we're French and Lou from Leamington, and we've been doing it for about 5 years, 6 years now or something.
Yeah, so we've been in it 5 years. French to the Lou. Obviously, I'm Louis. This is the French. We've been doing it 5 years.
Yeah.
We started obviously doing, you know, I mean, because we're both, I'm 20, 22, French is 22.
The older one.
23.
He's young for his year though.
But yeah, we started doing 15 plus events, obviously. Yeah. So we've gone up from there now. Now we're finally up to our own events, doing our own stuff, our own productions, finally get on your label, you know what I mean? Our first release. We're coming through, man.
Yeah. So I suppose the place that I want to start from is from a music perspective. Firstly, I want to sort of like talk about, I'll say dance music, because I know you guys have you've dabbled in a few different genres. So talk to me about like where did the dance music thing all start from you? Like what's your first memories of getting into it? You know, even before you started DJing, maybe. So like where did it all start?
For me, really, it's always been, you know what I mean, like instilled in me from my mum, really, and truthfully. And my first like rave setting or festival setting was, do you remember Scoot Fest? Yeah, Scoot Fest. Shy FX was headlining. I'll never forget. Like he was one of my role, musical influence wise, you know what I mean, and inspirationally, just his whole music. So to see him, I was like 13, and my mum took me. And we even like waited by the side of the stage afterwards and met him and spoke to him or whatever. Yeah. And then to later on for us to you know what I mean, be on the same lineup and the same room as him, and then to meet him and to even I told him this story. So stuff like that. It's just like it's crazy.
So that's where it started for you.
Yeah, man.
So what about you, French?
What about you, French?
I think one of my mates had a pair of decks, and I love dubstep. That's why I got obsessed with dubstep. And one time I was just DJing, and then he played, I think it was My Love, Route 94. My Love. That one. That was the first house tune I really listened to. But yeah, and then I just loved mixing on this like little pad. I just figured out how to do it, really. Well, it's
we met in college. That's how it started, really. We met in college. I was doing other things. Like I learned how to play instruments first before it became music. So it was a bit of a. I saw Frenchie doing it in college. And I was, what? How's he doing? How's he doing that? Yeah. And then we just became friends. And I had like a pair of like a cheap controller. Yeah. That my mum had bought me, and Frenchie didn't have that. Frenchie like was doing it all off his phone. Like when we first met, he was literally shutting down house parties off his phone.
Our first set we did, the speakers blew. This is our first set we've ever done together. Yeah. We didn't know what to do. Yeah. And Lou just went, get your phone out.
The promoter comes over, and it's a 15 plus event. With like it's our first one being booked. It's rammed out full of people because it was our first thing promoting wise, and we've got everyone to be at this one Valentine's Day event in Coventry. And then we cranked up the speaker straight away to sound check, and it's blowing the whole system. So we've only got like the booth and the monitors to go off. And I said, the guy was like, no, you can't do it off your phone. I said, mate, he's better on his phone. At that stage,
I was better on my phone.
Better on his phone at that point, you know what I mean? Yeah. To start with, and he shut it down on his phone.
It went off.
On his phone. A whole club was going off with his phone. That's how it started.
Coventry out of it.
I want to talk a little bit about your sort of like vibe as DJs, because obviously I've known you guys for a little while, and I've seen you play loads of different sorts of sets from garage and drum and bass and the house stuff that you do and different genres of that. So like I know like now I'd say it seems like you're more settled on the sort of like house 100%. Thing. So how would you describe your vibe for people that have never seen you play or don't know any of the music you make?
Well, we've basically sacked off other genres at this point. We're just literally sticking to house. We've done drum and bass, and it's Louis' fault. Not that I didn't like it, but he come back from Ibiza
Yeah.
He went for a whole season in Ibiza, and he said, listen to house music, get into this.
Yeah.
And I loved it, to be fair. I just prefer it more than anything we've ever done, 100%. Yeah. And like, realistically, being French and Lou, it's not just one straight sound for a set. We could do that if we wanted to, but that doesn't make it our set.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm more hard. I'll go a bit harder and less vocal, and Louis will come through with the vocals. But like, even though we both do, you know, that's how we bounce off each other. To be honest.
Yeah. And to carry on from that, like you were saying, it really comes from, I think, our taste for music comes from like having that experience in, like, we started with garage and bassline. That was the true love, really. Like we both had this obsession with like weird noisy bassline, like intro, you know, like the little DJs in bassline, or even like our friends who, like George Ninetree, he had his own alias called Mindstate, and I actually flourished in that field. You know what I mean? All the biggest bassline guys, like we're hearing about him, and then we end up playing and supporting like our role models who like we grew watching and like loving, like TQD, and we end up passing over to them in assembly.
We did Minor Lane as well.
Minor Lane,
that was crazy.
So once, and that was all because of Dry Tape. Dry Tape threw us through and ended up getting a residency with the old owners of assembly for a while. So that was a big thing for us. But really, like you were saying, I think it comes from having that experience in other sounds, and now we bring it through the house, because the house is just so global.
No, it makes
universal
sense. So like, obviously you guys promote your own event, which does really well. So you do it in Leamington at the minute, but it's always generally a sellout, which is wicked. You got a great following that comes. So talk to me about how that all started. You know, how did we're going to do our own.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. But firstly, at the moment, we got to shout out 90 for Bloop. Brilliant. You know about Bloop. Everyone knows about Bloop around Leamington. We're really happy to be doing stuff with him at the moment. We both know him on a personal level as well, so it makes it even better. But it all started at Kelsey's. I was having a haircut and I found out that there was a rooftop, and I said, there's no way there's a rooftop there. And I wanted to do events, but Louis was having a season out in Ibiza at the time. And he was telling me that, I don't know if I'm going to come back till October. And I just thought, I can't wait long enough. I wasn't getting a lot of bookings by myself. I was still getting baseline bookings along French and Lou, but it wasn't good enough. So I wanted to do something with all my mates on, and something just to get me some bookings realistically. And then Louis said, I'm coming back. And he came back, and it was so good. We didn't expect so many people to turn up, and then we just wanted to do another one and another one. And then we just had a lot of people come in that were our mates, and we met a lot of new people from doing events as well. And those people all still come, and we're lucky to have it in Leamington. We're lucky to have it in Leamington.
And from how I've seen it, really, I was obviously, like Frenchy said, in Ibiza. And it really, to summarize that quickly, it just drew, you know what I mean? I found house music in, you know what I mean, that love and being there. It just feels like history when you're there, you know what I mean? It's such there's such a,
it's amazing.
I felt like part of history being there and being able to dance in those places. So it's such a epic experience, ain't it? That just finding yourself in house music. And I was out there living what I've, you know what I mean? It was incredible, whatever. And then in fact, I didn't even get a call. I called Frenchy because I just go on Facebook and I see French and Friends, an event. That's how this is how I see it happen. I was like, what? I called him up straight away. I was like, you're doing your own event? Like, not even on I was just like, that's me. I'm coming back to play on it. It can be called French and Friends. I'll come. I've got to be there for your event to play on it. And then Frenchy obviously said, no, mate, it has to be called French and Lou and Friends, obviously, if I come back. And I booked the first flight. And I was back like the week of the event, and it was, you know what I mean, just a start for us, really.
No, you guys have done great, man. It's like, to be honest with you, there probably hasn't been anything in Leamington like what you guys are doing, you know, even the stuff you do with Luke for a number of years. Like there hasn't been a house music scene. It's been mostly just drum and bass, you know, for years and years and years. Been anything really house music wise in Leamington for quite some time, you know, that I can think of anyway. I mean, obviously, like, 90's been doing Blue for quite a long time, but that's been about it from for at least the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So big ups to you guys, man. You're doing really well.
Yeah, it's definitely is drum based town. Leamington.
Yeah, it's drum based town.
But even as a player, going to Ibiza, you really learn that it's so heavy, the house scene in like the up north. Yeah, and like in London, really, it's crazy. It's crazy that's where predominantly the heart of it is, but for good reason as well, obviously, it seems. But I think our town, in terms of Leamington, is very influenceable because it's quite a small little place. Because it is, I think we've shown that there can be a house scene again because of the beautiful music that we play. You know what I mean? People like the tunes.
At the end of the day, it all starts from the younger people. People my age, you know, they've been through it, you know what I mean? And like trying to, this is not a following at the like people that are in their 30s. There'll be a few, but like in your early 20s, people are keen for it, and like you guys have like got that good following, you know, of people that are like they're keen to go out, they love the music. So yeah, man, it's good. So I want to talk a little bit about like what your aspirations are for the future. Like, where do you want to go with this? You know, because I know we spoke quite a bit about different things I spoke to you, but like, I'll be straight. Obviously, the time that we've known each other, I didn't know your backstory as to like where it started. And that's like, like where do you see yourself trying to take it, basically?
We definitely want to take it international, and we definitely want to be living off it. That's what it is, because we love music so much. I love DJing in front of people and making people move. Just when you drop a tune, you get a roar from a crowd. It's another feeling. That's
But really, like to answer what you were saying, definitely the next steps and the goal is to really become full time, like Frenchie is saying. You know what I mean? To really make this not just because of the money, just because. If like I saw your post today or whenever it was like talking about you giving all of that time to something now has really gave you a full asset, you know what I mean? So if we had all of our time just to push into the dream and the passion, I know it would only flourish into like almost how quick you know what I mean, how far you've come as well.
100%. That's the key to the whole thing. You know, you need time to like, so you're not constantly thinking like, oh, I've only got an hour, or you need time to be able to get up and be like, right, I'm going to sit and I'm going to spend a few hours now. I'm going to try and make some music, or I'm going to like think about what I'm going to post, or I'm going to, you know, like trying to do it properly, you know what I mean? And like, you just need the time to do that. So yeah, if you guys can like evolve towards that somehow, you'll definitely do better.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, mate. Definitely.
So like, I want to speak a little bit about some things that you guys have learned throughout your time in the industry, because you've been doing it for a little while now. Any pieces of advice you can offer people that are just getting into it, or you know, maybe they've been in it for a while? What would you say?
Well, definitely don't be so strict on what your sound is, because your sound will definitely take you a while to find. But just have fun with it to start off with. But definitely don't give up as well. Don't give up. As I said, we've been doing it 5 years now. That's all we want to do now. I think maybe 2 years into it, 3 years into it, that's all we want to do.
For advice, definitely the best thing. Well, nowadays, because you have to be so heavily socially active. I've even spoke to some of like the best producers in the music that we're playing now in house. People we really look up to, and it's crazy that people that are just more socially active and maybe less talented are getting more or are fully booked in comparison to people that, you know what I mean, just are talented in the production, that aren't branding themselves properly to get those opportunities. Well, like even ourselves, really, we've only had the one proper release on the label with yourself, you know what I mean? But other than that, I think we've just branded ourselves properly, and obviously we can do the business on the decks as well. So but with advice, you got to stay hungry. People need to stay hungry and stay active on socials. Or if there's events you want to play at, go to the event, shake the hands of the people you need to meet. You know what I mean? Buy them a drink, whatever. Get to know them, and because it's just about like you said before we started this, just be yourselves, because that's what I've always, even in our Ibiza, we get on with people. We're not bad people, and I think I think that's the only way to go through it. Good people know good people.
Yeah, I mean, there's some real strong points there, like the social media aspect of it. I mean, I'm not really a fan of it. You know, it's not really I'm not into it. I don't know many people like. Wow, I think it's different if you're doing it from a personal perspective and you're just showing people nice bits about your life. But when you're actually having to do it because it's part of what you do, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, I find it it's a bit of a strain, actually. I find it it's quite
definitely
weird.
There's a lot of stupid stuff on there all the time.
Not even that. It's like when there's a lot going on for you, say it can happen quite naturally, like you just posting or reposting what people of you are doing. But I always get to that stage where I feel like I'm having to force a story, or like, you know what I mean? And it can get just overly repetitive and boring, you know what I mean? But it's weird that these algorithms, like you have to be posting 10 stories minimum and multiple posts, and it's crazy, but it just shows that there really is a formula to it. It's just about how to crack it, you know what I mean? How to get to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're bang on right, and I hope that anybody who watches this doesn't take offence to anything like that I'm going to say, but the social media side of it, if you've got a big following, to be quite honest with you, it's probably more important than your ability, which is
man, it's crazy. Mad. It's actually crazy. There's actually people out there, I don't really care, because they know who they are, right? There's people out there that shouldn't be getting these bookings. Like I said, when there's people who are spending hours because they love this, they love this, like in their little rooms on their little, not a lot of equipment, real just genuine talent that don't get these big main stage bookings or whatever just because they don't have a social media presence. It's sad, really. But
yeah, it is. It's you know, like you say, there's definitely a structure to it in respect of what you got to do. But I mean, lads, I'll be absolutely straight with you. Like I have put a load of time in to try and understand it, and you try and get a straight answer out of anybody as to this is exactly how you do it. So hard, like honestly, without putting serious money into it. You know what I mean? Like thousands upon thousands all the time. But yeah, like I say, like I always think to myself, well, if you're being consistent with it, and you know you're putting your music out there, and you're making an effort, and you, like you say, you're being you, people will find you somehow. So talk to me about when the French and Lou record label is starting.
Whoa! He's teased it. Next year. 2022. 2022. There's gonna be. It might not. It's not the French and Lou record label, but there'll be some.
There'll be some.
That's really.
We've got good ideas. Not going to talk.
We're not going to talk too much.
We have got good
but
ideas.
It's coming, and it's really, we got to thank you because of that. Because it's really inspiring to see you do what you've done, and it only drives us further to want to achieve and have something of our own like that to build on. You know what I mean? So
you've told us stuff. You've told us stuff about. You've told me personally about record label. You gave me
the knowledge.
You gave me a lot in the head that has made me think. Right. This is what I need to do.
This is it. And you've made it so much more. It feels attainable to know. You know what I mean? To have people like you to know that we really can do things to further ourselves in what we want to achieve. You know what I mean? These goals are achievable.
If like I said, like when we met up the other day, French, briefly, like I said, like do it early. Honestly, the record label side of it, like owning all your own music, and don't get wrong, like releasing on other record labels, and that's fine. But the best way to get yourselves out there in respect of your music is to really, if you have your own label, there's no stopping you. As long as you're prepared to put a bit of promotion into it and that.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do. You got to do what you got.
Anywhere.
Yeah, we really we're sitting on a lot of music at the moment as well. We haven't stopped. I know we have got one release. It's on your label.
Yeah.
But ever since then, we both give it a good go.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're not on the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm on FL and he's on Ableton.
Yeah.
I definitely need to learn Ableton. That's something that I need to do, because Louis making a lot of good tunes. And he's better. I think he's really good at drums.
Yeah. This is the one thing I was saying. Being in a partnership, there's a lot of bickering.
Yeah.
Being someone else.
Yeah.
We know each other for a long time.
Friends, you always make it a competition.
No, it's not.
It doesn't need to be.
It's natural,
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and to be fair, just to speak on that, to be fair, I don't think I'd be able to do it on my own. You know what I mean? Looking back, going through what we've gone through, like even the little set, the years of getting trains on our own without our friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To do the opening sets in wherever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those times, I don't think I could have gone through it alone. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you like support each other through the good times and the bad times, which is
exactly. You just got to get worse for it. It's been, you know, there was times where like it wasn't so fluent, like the bookings, or like we had to get a grasp of how to really network, or you know what I mean, meet these people. And I only feel now like we're really blessed to know the people that we do, like who are really just talented people. You know what I mean? And like to be accepted into the industry we wanna start cracking into.
Yeah.
So, what would you say are some things that you're looking back on the time that you've been doing it? What are some things that you're most proud about so far?
You've got one, surely.
Yeah. Well, definitely. When we're just baseline drum and bass DJs, supporting TQD and then Miney Lang after that, because we were really big fans of TQD. They were a group, obviously, Royalty, DJ Q, and Flavor D. They were a group that we all liked them individually, and it was just crazy to support them. And we've done Ministry of Sound as well, which was that. When Louis called me to say that we had that booking, I couldn't believe it, because it was only like two years ago or something like that. And
I'd say my biggest one is Assembly as a whole, having that residency, growing up from Leamington and like surrounding areas. The dream was always to just play that massive main room of Assembly. Being a raver in there and spending like growing up facing that, so I always dreamed of being on that other side and seeing it full. So when we actually got given like those prime time supports passing over to the headliner, it was a crazy like it still doesn't feel real. If I like were to close my eyes and look back on that time, like that doesn't feel real, that we still did, like we achieved like things I dreamed about, you know what I'm saying? Crazy, man.
It's like, how has the coronavirus situation affected you guys musically and everything, really?
Oh yeah, like I'm sure everyone would probably answer the same. It was the worst part for us, because just before the pandemic, that's when we started the event. Everything was going well for us. Probably the first kind of real, it felt like we were on a roll, you know what I mean, sort of like onwards and upwards, and then just to be hit with that, like I'm sure everyone in whatever sector, it was just heartbreaking. And it was you who gave us the opportunity, you know what I mean, to first get back on decks, and it felt like we were starting all over again, you know what I mean. It's great, it's crazy to that like weird period where we didn't feel normal, like playing out, like, you know what I mean. So
it got all right when we didn't have to social distance and we could actually see each other, because I think I just bought my decks that I could do live streams on. We started doing live streams and people were watching, and we went to the Loft in Stourbridge, which is a really good studio. Shout out the Loft. We went there and did our first live stream when we first didn't have to social distance, and we had a lot of people watching, and that was all we could do then, really. That was the only way we could interact with the people that we you know, people that look at us, people that watch us and listen to us.
Yeah, it's been mad actually, because like I don't think, obviously nobody could see something like this coming, but as soon as obviously it did, and then hospitality and nightlife took a massive hit, obviously because they're busy venues, and that's how the government, they don't want that sort of stuff happening. And yeah, it's almost been like a complete restart. And like obviously when things became back open again, there was like a massive resurgence, wasn't there? But I don't know about you guys. I feel like to a degree, and other people that I speak to, it seems to have like, it's almost not the same as it was before. It's like, it's weird. You don't know whether or not things are going to be really busy. You know, it's like it's a different ball game now, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. I've even spoke to some promoters who like do their own events, and they've said, I think I heard a statistic that it's like we're still like 30% missing from the usual crowds or something. Yeah. And it does feel like that. Like you're saying, every event we have done since it all, like, we obviously the first events we did, it still felt like you weren't sure if people were going to come. Yeah. But it would always flourish into something. But I think, like you said, now there always is that a bigger worry just because of the climate. Like what we're going through. There's obviously so many people who are just worried about whether or not they should go out. So we're being targeted.
Yeah, definitely. It's fucking sad, I've got to say, but it is sad, man. It is the state of the nation, really. So what you got in the pipeline? Because I know obviously you've got an event coming up pretty shortly. Yeah. So what in the pipeline just generally?
Boxing Day.
Go on then.
French and Lou.
We got Blue. We got Tom Jr. Russo Records. We got Lauren Bleach, Levi Swan.
2 debuts from them. Both locally sourced. Finest, cream of the crop. Seleckies. And then we've got the big bad man himself, Nine Tree. The boy. We're going back to back. We're going to close it with him. That's going to be emotional.
Got Saturn Sound.
And then we got the boys on a big four-way back to back to back to back. The Saturn Sound.
Just fingers crossed it can go ahead. I'm just really hoping.
Oh, it will. It will. Yeah. It's all in the mind. I couldn't see it. I see it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So where can people get tickets? Where can they? So I'll tell you what. Give yourselves a shout out as to where can people find you? Where can people get tickets for the events? How do they go about it?
Well, tickets for the events on Resident Advisor, and our socials we're French in Lou
with the N, French and Lou,
because you can't put our little symbol.
So it's French and Lou, all the socials. If you go on our Facebook, our Instagram, whatever,
SoundCloud,
it's in the bios for the tickets, man. Yeah, for the tickets. Straight Instagram, Facebook, get it on there. Resident Advisor. It's going down. Don't miss it, because this could be the last. It could be the last party. We don't even know if it's good. Like you said. So it really could be the send off. Yeah. So it's a big one. It's a big one.
Nah, it will be good. For anybody who's in the Leamington area that likes the house music and that, you get down there on Boxing Day, because it definitely will be.
Especially to see yourself as well.
No, it'll be wicked. It'll be wicked. It will be wicked. So yeah, lads, we're coming to the end. So it's been amazing speaking to you, I've got to say.
Thank you very much.
It's good to know a little bit more about you, actually, and I'm sure there'll be others that won't know your story and that. So yeah, it's been wicked speaking to you.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yourself, brother.
No worries.
We'll see you.